Watch Joy Behar compares Christians to the Taliban. The Taliban is a terrorist group responsible for the Afghan civil war, which has claimed over 104,000 lives just since 2001. They are responsible for sex trafficking, oppression of women, numerous massacres, political and religious oppression, suicide bombings, acid attacks, torture, and sundry other forms of inhuman debasement and cruelty. Now, here's a question. Are you a Christian, religious organization that opposes being forced to provide mandatory birth control under employee health care coverage as mandated by Obamacare? Joy Behar of The View wants you to know that you're every bit as bad as the aforementioned terrorist group. Seriously. In a jaw-dropping, bigoted statement delivered on Thursday's edition of the show, Behar wondered aloud how opposition to mandatory birth control coverage for religious organizations are different from the Taliban. The segment began with host Whoopi Goldberg noting that in a movement that could impact as many as 55 million women in America, the current administration is moving to reverse the Obamacare requirement that employers provide free birth control to employees. Conservatives claim it protects religious nonprofit groups from violating their faith, Goldberg said. But isn't that kind of imposing your beliefs on your workers? Goldberg is apparently unacquainted with the First Amendment of the court case Little Sisters of the Poor versus Price and the subsequent liberal attempts to end run around it. Apparently, she's also unacquainted with the particulars of the plan, which The Hill points out only lets employers deny the coverage based on religious or moral grounds. It's profoundly unlikely that 55 million women would be affected. That's okay, though. The rest of the View's panel was unacquainted with those things as well. Needless to say, hilarity ensued, and by hilarity, I mean bigotry. They don't mind their business, Behar said. It's religion. How is it different from the Taliban, I'd like to know. Check it out here. Behar's input comes about 3.25 mark, but the whole conversation is just jaw-dropping.
In a move that could impact as many as 55 million women in America, the current administration is moving to reverse the Obamacare requirement that employers provide free birth control to employees. Conservatives claim it protects religious nonprofit groups from violating their faith. But isn't that kind of imposing your beliefs on your workers?
It's also a bit of a conflict for them to say this because you want to remove funding from places like Planned Parenthood that allows for family planning and decisions. You now want to remove contraception, and yet you say that people that are poor, like Dr. Ben Carson said, people that live in projects and things are getting too comfortable and they're sucking the system dry. Well, you're not giving them options to make the right decision. If you're pulling you're almost punishing us for having ovaries. Like,
we also miss, that's a great point. We also, I think, miss a big point in the contraception debate. We call them birth control pills, contraceptive pills. A lot of women, and I was one of them, take these for medical reasons. I wasn't having sex for a long time, unfortunately, but when I took these pills, I was taking them because I had irregular cycles, I was fainting, I had a medical condition where I had to be on them. So in some ways, these need to be treated the same way that your medication for diabetes and your heart medication, Viagra. Yes, that's right.
No, Viagra.
Women need these for medical
What I really love about it is that Viagra is covered under all of these plans. Because they consider not getting an erection a disability. If a 90-year-old is not getting an erection, that's just nature taking its course.
Yeah.
The world does not stop because grandpa. Okay, but if a woman has 20 kids, that stops her life. And so I think that this needs to be rethought.
One small note, just really quickly, is the other thing is everyone has an image of a teenage girl that needs to go secretly and be on birth control. Many of the people on birth control are women like me in their 30s that are trying to maintain a marriage and do that biblical thing and know what their limits are.
One thing that is always surprising to me with Christians and evangelicals and people of faith is that they are supportive of this rolling back of contraception for women, but what they don't understand is because of this Obama mandate, abortion was lowest for the first time since 1970.
Yeah, it says that. Several studies show that pre-birth control lowers abortion rates by a range of 62 to 78%.
78%. And so if you are someone of faith that says you are pro-life, then you should be supportive of people using birth control.
Or how about this? Stay out. How about this? Do what you need to do for your family. Let me do what I need to do for mine, and we'll all be fine. I don't understand.
They don't mind their own. Conservatives who care about conservatives that are true conservatives that care about personal responsibility are a mind your business type of people. Like, I live my life, live and let live. That is true conservative.
It's religion.
Yeah, but you can't hide behind religion to restrict other people's rights.
Well, that's done all the time. We saw it when people said, "Oh, we can't have gay people adopting." So
that's right. Well, that's wrong too.
You know what?
It's wrong.
Y'all just need look.
I don't know how is it different from the Taliban?
I just feel that at some point you have to take responsibility for your life. And a lot of people are saying, this is what I need, and you're saying it doesn't matter what you need. I want you to believe how I believe. And I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. With all these rollbacks and all the things that we hear, what's the difference between us and the people we're fighting?
Nothing.
What's the difference?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's to keep women down also. Let's not forget that one of the reasons they do this is to keep women in their place.
But there are women too that are saying, oh, women shouldn't have access to this. And I'm just asking women.
They're saying that. They're saying they don't want the government. They don't want to pay for it.
Medical, if
you know what?
Unbelievable. Just like the Taliban, she said, and these are the people we're fighting against, Whoopi said. I'd refer Behar to any number of differences I mentioned in the first paragraph, troubling none of her co-panelists did. In fact, they even let her ramble on with inanities like it's to keep women down also. Let's not forget one of the reasons they do this is to keep women in their place, barefoot and pregnant. In a perfect world, Joy Behar would be on the unemployment line with Kathy Griffin railing against how the Christian Talibans had forced them out. Unfortunately, some forms of bigotry aren't acceptable on television, and hers is one of them. I agree with that. One can only hope the backlash is serious enough that even the acceptability of anti-Christian sentiment in the mainstream media isn't enough for Joy Behar to hide behind. Oh well, let us know what you think in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.